Oh, goodness gracious. You try to do things and then things that happens. I thought we were just live here. Didn't quite work. Oh well. Anyways, you do the best you can. Oh, February 17th. It is the anniversary of my head exploded. And you think you're good because it's been 6 years, right? You're 6 years and then something else triggers. And people love my story. It's always reframing, right? What is the story that's going for you? And no matter what happens, it's the best thing that happened to you. And when you tell yourself this, your brain changes it around. So February 17th, we just had a Valentine. It was a great Valentine's. I was exhausted. I was tired. We had a crazy amount of stress. Like the amount of stress that was going on in my life. I was running 3 businesses, and one of the business had huge projects. Like there was a con artist, the builder, like we had so many Oc opticus? No, that's not the right word. Opticus, like opportunities, those things that pop up and you solve them. You get through them and you're feeling so good. You're like, yeah, I'm nailing everything. And the morning, I was having a great day. I was um woke up in the morning, I did accounting, I'm looking the numbers, oh my goodness, the numbers in our business were so amazing. It was 5 times as much the numbers we were going to come from this project, and all of these that went wrong, and we're like, yeah. And I was manifesting and thinking about the future, and I had this great conversation with my higher self. So I'm painting and I'm dipping um 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 I was paint dipping. So you have to paint them into the water and you get to meditate. So I'm talking to my higher self and I'm talking about how I want my life to be and all these amazing things. So I'm taping them and I was talking to my higher self, and my higher self says, yeah, you can have everything you want. Do you want it to be fast or slow? And I was like, fast. And they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's going to be the hardest thing you've ever done. So are you sure? And I was like, have you seen the projects and the things that I've gone through? I do hard things all the time. I got this. And they're like, okay, scream or you're going to die. And I'm like, instantly my head exploded. My brain aneurysm exploded in the back of my head. And instantly I couldn't feel my body from my neck down. So it was like 1 second where I could feel my body slowing down. One of those moments where the time slows down. And I went forward and I crumpled front, and luckily right in front of me was a door. So I had my head out and I screamed and I screamed and screamed and screamed and screamed. And I got so tired. I was like, I'm just going to take a nap. And that higher self, they're like, scream or you're going to die. Because it's way easier to be an angel right now. Just give up. You be an angel. No big deal. But if you want to be alive, you got to scream. So I started screaming and screaming and screaming like I'm going to die because, well, I was. So the father of my kid picked me up, pulled me out. Pulled me out because I couldn't move my body from my neck down. And I'm like, take me to the hospital now. And he's like, oh no, it's just stress. I'm pretty sure it's just stress. I'll just put you off. Like, no, take me to the hospital now. And then I blacked out. Apparently, my best friend was just 6 blocks away, and he came over, and he was a firefighter. So he came over to support Hayden and my kid. Could you imagine? My 9-year-old would have found me screaming. Like, of course, everything's perfect, right? So the right people came in. Went to the hospital. They couldn't believe that I'm still alive. They did a coil, drill here, a nice little drill thing, and to take the pressure out. And they said, well, if you take the night, we're going to fly her to the next city to do coil. Like there's only 6 people in the whole world who can do it. And if she makes the night, we'll fly her tomorrow and do the surgery. So like, okay, great. Well, it turns out someone else needed my surgery. So I started dreaming, praying for the other person, obviously need it more than me. So I just dreamed, prayed, and my whole family flew across Canada to wait for my surgery. And when I woke up, which was funny because when I woke up, I thought I was watching Grey's Anatomy and I saw this guy crying and this nurse testing the arm and the legs, and they could feel nothing. And the guy's like, everyone loves her. She's so kind and loving. She has to be alive. Like, there's no way. She's the healthiest of my life. There's no way. And he's just crying in this chair. And then this 9-year-old walked up to the kid and said, Dad, she's going to be fine. Just wait. And then nothing happened. And it was like, what is going on with Grey's Anatomy? Like, they're just crying. And then I realized I'm not watching Grey's Anatomy. That's me. That's my life. And at that moment, whenever something crazy happens, I strip all the emotions and I look to myself on the side. And I looked around. I was like, okay, I can't feel my body from my neck down. There's no reason that can't happen. So I'm an entrepreneur. I run businesses. So I went in my head and I pretend that I saw a sea of employees, because an employee, as a business owner, you surround yourself with amazing people that are brilliant and smarter than you in different ways. And you use them for their best parts, right? So I found a box and I made the best motivational speaker in the world. And I told the employees of the dream and where we're going and what's happening and where. And in this great conversation, my employees all went all over my body, and they looked at every nerve and every part of my body, and they came back, and my morgue manager, the manager of the employees in my business, came up and said, okay, Melanie, we need to give yourself a stroke if you want your body to wake up. And I said, okay. What do you suggest to delete? Because as a owner, you tell them to do their job, right? And so I told the employee, those are not the ones for this one. Yeah. See, your brain damage, you do stuff like this. Okay. So the employee, you asked your employee what you think we should do, because it's not my job to micromanage everything. You do it. But I say, yes, that's right or wrong. So, okay. You're highly educated. You spent $150,000 on your education. Let's delete that. And I was like, whoa, education is the most valuable. No way, because no matter what happens, it's the education that holds me through no matter what happens. No, you need them. Like, okay. Stories. Oh, you have stories from people all over the world. Let's delete stories. I'm like, no. I need the stories, because the stories that illustrate the education for I to teach other people. So no, I need all those stories. I'm like, okay. English. What about English? And I was like, I was never good at English. Sure, maybe. And the words that you use the world changes the world. So if I have to relearn English, I can just learn the good ones and not the bad ones. Like, I was never good at the first time. So, okay, you can delete. I was never good at it anyways. Like, okay. Oh, if you're going to do something, freaking do it. I got a level 4 stroke. So when I woke up from my coma after 2 weeks and getting this stroke that's wake up my body, it deleted all my communication. All of my communication was deleted. So I couldn't hear, I couldn't speak, I couldn't write and write. So I couldn't like say it or write it, either one. They're all gone. So I had 5 words. I could only read one syllable words. And there was like at about 6 months, they tell you that's who you are. Sorry, that's who you are. You worked really hard. You did all the hard work. You did the therapy, the exercises. This is who you are now. So just accept it and just move forward. And I was like, okay, this team of people that are educating me and teaching me how to do this, but my gut, it didn't feel right. And they're telling me, okay, Melanie, you used to run 3 businesses, but you're an entrepreneur. You can never, your brain damage is too much. You can never be an entrepreneur now. Like you're going to be employee. One of your business is photography. So just do one of those. You don't need a lot of English for that, which by the way, you need a lot of English for photography to get people to take beautiful pictures. It's a lot of English. So just be a photographer, work for someone else, and that's now your life. And I said, oh, okay. Everything that happens for us, everything is a lesson that I need to learn. Okay. So I'm home for the weekend and I'm crying. It's another day. One of those days where you just can't stop crying. Like you're having a hard day. And I was like, okay, it's a sun day. I'm going to go sit in the sun. I'll get some vitamin D. I'm going to feel the feelings. And I'm talking to myself. I'm like, okay, Melanie, you got this. Let's go. But I couldn't stop crying. Like one of those shake crying days. And then I swear, Zig Ziglar was standing beside me. Do you know who Zig Ziglar is? He's a motivational speaker. Freaking awesome. And he's one of those, he tells you the story and they tell you to listen to those stories over and over until those stories become yours and it becomes your voice in your head because you don't need Zig Ziglar anymore. That's his whole goal, right? But Zig Ziglar was standing beside me in my subconscious, right? Talking to me. And it's like, Melanie, you could be a motivational speaker. You have a great story. You would inspire people. And I was like, Zig Ziglar, you're right. Yes, that's a great idea. So I came back into the hospital at 6 months where I went there for a year. And I come up to the speech therapist. I'm glowing, right? And she's like, what happened? Cried, idea. And she's like, okay. So I drew a picture of me on stage. And I said, like Zig Ziglar. Who's Zig Ziglar? Makes people happy. And she's like, so Melanie, you're trying to tell me that you want to be a motivational speaker on stage? Yeah. Yeah. She's like, no, what? Do you know that you're sick? I'm like, yeah, file. Oh, no. I've seen your file. Your file's like, whoa. No, I just want to make sure you're sick. So like, I'm worried that you're going to fail. Your goal is too big and you're going to fail and then you're going to brickle into pieces and like, we won't be able to clean you up. Like this dream is too big. Like you, you have 25 words and you want to be emotional speaker. And I was like, see, this was a great speech therapist, brilliant. And she's doing the job that she thinks, but she didn't understand the difference between goal and dream. There's 2 different things and they're very, very big things because with a dream, these dreams are big and juicy and wonderful. So freaking good, right? Now, dreams are the reasons that you wake up in the morning. Those whispers, those things, these these ah, these dreams that whisper, that idea that you believe you're here for a reason. Those are those things that wake you up in the morning, and they're miracles that you don't even think they could ever happen. But every day you make small, little, tiny goal. Every day you do one little step towards that goal every day. And you enjoy the journey every moment because you don't necessarily get tomorrow. That's the whole thing about present. You get today because it's a present, but tomorrow isn't nothing's owned to you today. You want to plan, you want to make sure you have enough money, you're taken care of, you're going to be old, you want to make sure of all those things, but you want to enjoy the journey just in case, right? Make today count just in case. And someone that says this, like, is today that you're proud to, I don't know. There people say these lines that they're not my lines, so I don't have it. Won't come out. All right. So I started working my business. So now it's been 6 years. So February 17th is the anniversary. 6 years since my head exploded. And then having this dream. So I guess it's 6.5 years working on my business. And it's one of these days that I'm crying and I'm sad and everything feels like it's against me. And one of the main things that I did a year ago is a year and a half. I wanted to respect myself, and I was holding on of my clear boundaries and being respected. And with my head exploded, it made me realize that as a wife who hides, doesn't need to be seen. And I think there's this energy change from this person who it's not important that anyone sees me. I'm the wife. Make the men big, strong. You 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 get all the it's all your fault. Like all your it like my job is everything is my all the problems are mine. I solve all the problems. Everything is my fault and they get the wins. That's what it was. But my head exploded. I was like, well, that's stupid. We're all even. We're both important. We um we both get seen. And I think this balance of this 10 years hiding myself and not making me look like I have money, which just by the way, it's funny the like the response and things that say to me, like it's so interesting the people that say that are so damaging and horrible to us and you're just like, "Oh, honey. Oh, honey." "Oh, honey, you don't know." That's something my grandma would say. "Oh, honey. Oh, honey." Like, you have no clue. Like, I know you're having a hard time, but you have no clue. And no matter what horrible thing is happening to you, there's no I don't wanna minimize it. It's the worst thing that's happening to you, but the truth is that there's someone's life is way worse than yours. So, like, put up those grown-up underwears and getting things done, man. Like, come on. Get up and get to work, man. One of the um one of the things that I notice with businesses, and this is too of like I'm figuring out why often when I do other courses or other things that I'm realizing what the thing that's missing, why I can't take that next step, why that next step doesn't work for me. And because I have brain damage, I need to educate people and teach them how to treat me and what to do. And letting people know that that's not okay. Like, it's not okay to treat me this way because I'm kind and loving and I don't make a big deal about it. But it's also important to like hold my boundary and say that that's not okay. Like, that's not okay. Yeah. So I'm going for an MRI tomorrow. And it's just, I moved to Winnipeg, so I have new doctors and dentists. You're finding all these new people because when you move into a new place, you get to find all those people. And my new doctor wants an MRI just to check it. And so it's no big deal. 100 on paper, no big deal. But at the same time, it's rocking me. And that as well with my business. I've been working so hard and nothing was happening. And then all of a sudden, things are moving. Things are starting moving. And it's interesting that I'm like, okay, with all this moving and I'm feeling so emotional and my brain wants to come up with reasons why. Oh, it's the February 17th. That's why you're crying. This is why you're having a hard time. Why this is affecting me. And I was like, no, true. Those are true. These are big things. This is the year anniversary of me divorcing after 20 years, moving across Canada, finding a new place. Like, okay, those are all emotional for sure. But there's also when you have those emotional days, when you cry, something really good coming. Something good coming. So when you tell those instructions to our brain, then our brains will start figuring it out, right? So I'm like, oh, there's something good coming. Something good. Here we go. So let me what questions you have. I would love any questions. At 12:12, we do I do an event on the 11th of the month, 11:11 Central. That's when I do an event. And reminding me of all these people. I think I need to let people into my one-to-one coaching and goodness gracious, good things happening, man. Oh, yeah. Okay. Remind you guys, if you woke up today, we need you exactly like you have. You can level up. You can get better. I highly recommend you coach someone to guide you and, for you to move faster. So we send you good vibes. Remember, if you woke up today, we need you just like today. Mwah! Have a wonderful day. And I'm so happy to see you here. Thank you. And I